Muhammad Adib AIZAT bin AZMI, and my matrix number is 227528. Okay, so for this group assignment, we were tasked to identify the problems in each of the pictures given and provide the solution for each of the problem itself. Okay, so let's start.
Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad HAIKAL bin HISHAM and my matric number is 227988. Today I will explain about the mistake in our weed control method. As you can see, the image clearly illustrates a significant weed control mistake in an oil palm plantation, where the ground beneath the palm has been left completely bare. This condition is typically the result of excessive or blanket application of herbicide, which eliminate not only problematic weeds but also all ground vegetation, including potentially beneficial plants. This practice can lead to several negative consequences for the plantation ecosystem. One of the main issues is soil erosion. Ground cover, including low-growing weeds and beneficial plants, plays a crucial role in protecting the soil from the impact of rain. Without this protective layer, raindrop can directly hit the soil surface, dislodging topsoil and leading to erosion. Over time, this reduces soil fertility, degrades soil structure, and can lead to poor water retention, all of which negatively affect palm growth and yields. The loss of beneficial plant is another concern. Not all weeds are harmful. Some serve important ecological functions such as nitrogen fixation, organic matter contribution, and microhabitat provision. Certain ground cover can also suppress the emergence of more aggressive and damaged weed species by competing for sunlight, water, and nutrients. When herbicides are used indiscriminately, these helpful species are also eliminated, disrupting natural weed suppression and soil health. Moreover, herbicide resistance can become a serious issue. Frequent use of the same herbicide, especially when used excessively, creates selective pressure that encourage the survival and proliferation of resistant weed and species. Over time, this makes weed control more difficult and more require stronger or more costly chemical solution. Another significant problem is environmental pollution. Herbicide runoff, especially from over-applied chemicals on bare soil, can enter nearby water bodies, harming aquatic life and contaminating drinking water source. This poses a risk not only to the surrounding ecosystem but also to human health and community water supplies. Alright, to correct the mistake of excessive herbicide application in oil palm plantation, several sustainable and practical solutions can be adopted. One key strategy is to adopt selective or spot spraying techniques, where herbicides are applied only to specific areas which high weed pressure. This target approach, whether done manually or using controlled spraying equipment, help reduce chemical usage, minimize costs, and prevent unnecessary damage to beneficial ground cover. Additionally, implementing strict spraying between rows is recommended. This involves applying herbicide in narrow bands along the palm row while leaving the space between rows with natural vegetation or cover crop. Such a method preserves some ground cover, which help in reducing soil erosion and promote biodiversity. Another effective solution is to introduce cover crop, particularly leguminous species like Mucuna bracteata and Cantrosema pubescens. This cover crop suppress weed growth naturally, protect the soil from erosion, and enrich the soil through nitrogen fixation, thereby improving overall soil fertility. In line with this, adopting integrated weed management is essential. Integrated weed management involves combining several methods such as manual weeding, mulching, selective herbicide use, and mechanical slashing. This 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 diversified approach minimize reliance on any single method and enhance long-term effectiveness in weed control. That's all from me. Thank you. Right. So I gonna talk about the next picture, which is picture B. As you can see, the image shows cattle grazing in an oil palm plantation. This is a common practice for weed control method. However, this method raises several concerns and potential pitfalls if not managed properly. One of the major issues is damage to oil palm trees, especially younger oil palm, as can be seen in the image where cattle can eat the fronds or bark of the oil palm tree, leading to reduced productivity and potential long-term harm to the tree. Palm with low-hanging fronds are particularly vulnerable. Another concern is soil compaction caused by constant cattle trampling, which can affect soil aeration and water infiltration, affecting root development and overall soil health. Weed control through grazing is also often uneven, as cattle tend to selectively graze palatable species while leaving unpalatable or toxic weeds behind, allowing them to proliferate. Additionally, cattle can introduce or spread pests and diseases such as ticks or foot and mouth disease, indirectly compromising the health of the plantation. Improper management can lead to excessive build-up, resulting in nutrient imbalance, water contamination, and unpleasant odors. Furthermore, without control or rotational grazing, overgrazing may occur in certain areas, causing soil erosion and bare patch, while other areas remain underutilized. Lastly, the use of cattle requires significant labour and management to monitor the animals, prevent escape, and maintain fencing or barrier, adding to operational complexity. This issue highlights the importance of careful planning and integrated management when using livestock for weed control in oil palm plantation. So to effectively solve the problem associated with using cattle for weed control in oil palm plantation, a well-planned and controlled grazing system is essential. One of the primary strategies is to restrict grazing activity to mature oil palm fields, typically those older than 3 years, as their taller structure protects them from being damaged by cattle. In contrast, younger palm are highly susceptible to grazing and trampling, so they should either be protected with physical barrier like plastic guard or fencing, or excluded from grazing zone altogether until they reach a safe height. Implementing control or rotational grazing is another key approach. By dividing the plantation into paddocks and rotating the cattle through this section systematically, overgrazing can be avoided, soil compaction can be minimized, and uniform weed control can be achieved. This also gives grass areas time to recover, promoting sustainable vegetation management. In situations where weed growth is insufficient to meet the nutritional needs of the livestock, it is important to supplement the animals' diet with additional fodder or mineral blocks. Choosing the right type of livestock is also crucial. Smaller animals such as sheep or goats may be better suited for younger plantation or areas with fragile undergrowth, as they cause less damage than larger animals. Cattle should only be used where their size and feeding behavior pose no risk to the plantation. Finally, proper animal health and waste management practice are essential for the success of the system. Regular veterinary checkups help prevent the spread of disease, while managing manure through composting or even distribution can prevent nutrient imbalance and avoid pollution. By combining these strategy, weed control in oil palm plantation can be made more sustainable, efficient, and environmentally responsible. That's all from me. Thank you.
Now we can see in picture C that there is improper spraying direction and human exposure. The operator is spraying herbicide against the wind, causing the chemical droplets to blow back toward their face, body, or nearby people. This significantly increases the risk of direct inhalation, skin absorption, and eye contact with toxic substances. There is also a lack of protective gear. The person spraying may not be wearing complete personal protective equipment or PPE, such as face masks, goggles, gloves, or even long sleeves. Now this makes them vulnerable to immediate health effects such as skin irritation, breathing difficulties, eye redness or damage, headache or dizziness. Repeated exposure, even at low levels, may result in long-term health issues like hormone disruption or respiratory diseases. There is also poor awareness of training, a lack of safety training, poor understanding of wind dynamics, or improper field protocols. Now, there is a couple of solutions that we can apply. First is correct spraying direction. Always spraying with the wind or in a way that ensures the operator is upwind from the chemical application. We should also avoid spraying on windy days to reduce drift. We can also use proper PPE to ensure the sprayers wears full protective gear, including the respirator or face mask, safety goggles or face shield, chemical resistant gloves, long sleeve clothing, and rubber boots. It is also advised to wash hands and change clothing immediately after spraying. We should also add on training and supervision. We should also train workers on reading chemical labels and safety data sheets, recognizing wind direction, and equipment handling and maintenance. The supervisors should monitor field conditions and ensure safety protocols are followed. There should also have some buffer zones or signage. This is to establishing no spray zones near homes, water sources, or public areas. Putting up warning signs during spraying activities is essential to prevent accidental exposure. Now, in picture D, we can see that there is intercropping between oil palm and pineapple. Intercropping between oil palm and pineapple is a practice used to maximize land use, especially in early stages of oil palm growth. However, in this picture, we can see that it is done incorrectly or without proper planning. Now, this leads to several problems. The identified problems are competition for resources. The pineapple and oil palm compete for sunlight, water, and nutrients, especially in young oil palm plantations. Now this can reduce oil palm growth and delay maturity due to nutrient stress. There's also crop damage during weed control. Using mechanical or chemical weed control between densely planted rows can cause physical damage to either crop. Improper herbicide application that is meant for maybe pineapple may injure oil palm seedlings and vice versa. Furthermore, intercropping creates difficulties in field movement, especially for machinery and manual harvesting. Workers may be exposed to sharp pineapple leaves, increasing the risk of injury. There's also the risk of pest and disease transfer. Pineapple residues can attract pests like mealybugs, which may spread to oil palm. Shared ground cover can harbor fungal pathogens affecting both crops. Now, both of these can reduce the yield to either crops. Lastly, there's the safety hazards for workers. Dense unorganized planting leads to restricted movement, increasing chances of accidents, falls, or tool-related injuries during field operations. Now, The best solutions for safe and effective intercropping are proper spacing and layout, selective weed control methods, nutrient management, integrated pest management IPM or IPM, worker safety measures, and phasing out pineapple at all palm maturity. Focusing more on proper spacing and layout, we should maintain an adequate distance between pineapple rows and all palm to avoid resource competition and allow more equipment access. We could use a zone layout where all palm is the main crop and pineapple is planted only in suitable inter-row zones. The second one is selective weed control methods. Applying target-specific herbicides carefully with shielded sprayers to prevent drift onto non-target crops. We can consider manual or mechanical weeding in sensitive areas to avoid damaging either crop. With nutrient management, we can use fertilizer scheduling based on soil tests to ensure both crops get sufficient nutrients without exhausting the soil. Integrated pest management or IPM for pest movement between crops, especially measly bugs and ants in pineapple. We can use biological controls or barriers to reduce cross-infection risk. Worker safety measures provide protective clothing for workers handling pineapples, ensuring clear pathways between rows for safe movement and transport. Lastly is phasing out pineapple at all palm maturity. We should stop pineapple planting once all palm canopy closes, maybe after 2 to 3 years.
So firstly, we analyze the picture and the man is spraying herbicide. But the man is not the mistake the man made is not wearing protective wear. So solution for that is to wear goggles to avoid herbicide from getting into his eyes, and to wear gloves to avoid the herbicide from seeping to his skin, and also to wear thick layer of clothing. And then the second mistake he made is by spraying mist type, by applying the herbicide with mist, so wind can easily blow it and it can cause drifting. So the solution he can do is to change the nozzle to apply it precisely, and maybe don't spray upwards because there's not much weeds on the top of the trees, so spray it downwards. So, and that's all for this picture. For this image, we can see that the applied herbicide is non-selective and it will kill the plants, any weeds that it touch. But the application is not perfect. The application is only for one side, and then we can see the weeds living healthily on the other side. So for this, the solution for this is just to apply it evenly, and then maybe use a selective herbicide so you don't accidentally kill plants that are beneficial to the environment. And as you can see, it looks like it's over application of, so it can cause pollution to the soil, and as the herbicide seeps into the soil, it can cause pollution to the water underground as well. So that's all.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is AKHTAR bin SHAHNAZ AKHTAR. My matrix number is 227963. So we will discuss about the problem of this picture behind me. So the pineapple plant shows symptoms of yellowing leaves, especially in the middle and tips of the leaves. The main problem is the symptom of yellowing leaves, which is caused by nutrients deficiencies or drainage problem. So yellowing leaves are usually caused by a lack or nitrogen and magnesium. Nitrogen is important for leaf growth and chlorophyll, while magnesium is important for chlorophyll's information. Other than that, I also think that the soil is too moist or stagnant, so the roots cannot absorb nutrients well. So how to solve this problem? I think we should apply a balanced fertilizer containing nitrogen, magnesium, and other trace elements. So we should use an NPK fertilizer because it is suitable for pineapple, and add magnesium sulfate if necessary, and ensure that the planting area has good drainage and avoid stagnant water around the roots. In addition, we should also check for signs or disease or pest infection on the leaves and the roots. If there are any control using appropriate chemical or biological methods. So overall, we have to regular checks should be made on the leaves for early symptoms or nutrient deficiencies. We should take a note and record any changes for immediate action. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, so as for the conclusion, we've basically have talked about the what kind of the problems and the solution for each of the pictures provided, and one of them talk about the problem is in unmanaged cultivation sites that can affect the plant growth, and also in one of the picture also we can see that the farmer were an improper attire and not enough protective gear used that are needed to prevent direct contact or inhalation when handling herbicide, and thus all of this can affect the health and the yield of the crop itself. So that's all from us. Thank you.